don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. Hey, how you doing? Justin here today. We are checking out Losing My Religion by R.E.M. What an all-time classic tune this is. I used to play this on mandolin in cover bands in Tasmania as a teenager. And interestingly, I also played and sang this one many years ago, but I definitely wasn't playing it right. I was playing a much more simplified version, particularly the chorus. And it's only researching for doing this lesson, I was like, hang on, there's a bit more going on there. So I'm going to show you that way as well, but I'm also going to show you the simplified version, because doing the full one, particularly if you're going to sing at the same time, I found really, really difficult. Maybe you won't, but yeah, definitely singing that chorus part with all of the changes to the D minor and the G and the syncopated rhythm was a bit like, whoa, what's going on here? So we're going to start at the beginning. I'll show you the more complicated way first of all, the correct, like the record version, or what I'm fairly sure is going on the record, and then I'll show you the simplified version. We'll get into the rest of the song as well. So you don't have to start with, but it just really sets it up. It is the mandolin part, of course. Little finger down, third fret on the second string, then you play the open thinner string, back to the second string, second finger's going down, second fret on the third string, which will remain down for the jump to our F. Okay, so you can see my hand is kind of ready for the F. Now the F that you want is going to be this little small F. First finger covering the thinnest two strings only, second finger second fret third string, third finger third fret fourth string. If you can grab the bass with your thumb, great. If you can't, just focus your strumming on those thinnest four strings. Now I hear on the riff 1, 2, 3 and 4 and, lifting off the second finger on that up strum after beat 3. So we got 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do the second finger lift if you find it really difficult. I'm not even 100% certain it is actually the guitar that's doing that, but there's something in the track doing it, and for me it makes it sound like the record doing that. So you can choose whether to leave it on or maybe you add it in later, but at least you know I think it's a nice thing to add in there. So down, down, up, up. Then we change to a D minor chord for an up strum. 2 up strums, in fact, the and after 1 and the and after 2, and then to a G chord for beats 3 and 4. So you end up with 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now that is already fairly tricky. One more time and then I'll take you through a slightly simpler version of the same thing. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now it's the jump to the D minor and then going to the G, which I'm pretty sure I left out when I used to play and sing this song, and it does make it a lot more awkward, particularly for the singing part. So if you're struggling with any of that, remember that you can cut the intro. You can cut. You don't have to play that bit. You also don't have to do the lift. I think it's a good idea to stick with the rhythm, because again that's a kind of an integral part of the song for me. So if you're doing it that way, just starting on the F, you'd have down, down, up, 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 G, G. So completely leave out the D minor. Okay, so do, 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 do. Now you can use the F because F and D minor are very, very similar. If you just listen, like, they're different, but they're very, very close. Particularly, you still got that top note, the F. So I'm fairly sure when I worked it out, I just didn't do a good job of transcribing it, and I just stayed on the F. So if you want a simplified version, you can maybe try that one. Leave out the little riff, leave off the second finger lift, and add in as many of those bits as you feel happy to do as you progress with the song. Also note with the strumming, I'm giving you a kind of a shell for the strumming, this down, up picking, and then down, down, up, down. But it's not exactly that strict. You know, you want to be able to be loose enough with the way that you play it to add in other strums. Depending on just how it's feeling under your fingers, you're likely to what we call ghost other notes, where you might strum it just very lightly. Shouldn't be so rigid. It should feel relaxed and comfortable, much more than like exact, you know, strumming and being a bit too tense with it. Now the next section, I'm not sure again if the guitar is doing that or not. I'm hearing it on the record. It's definitely a prominent part in the bass, the climb. I'd recommend you have a go at it because it does sound really good, I think, in the context of the song, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. If you're struggling with it, just play a regular A minor and just stay on it. Okay, so A minor, down, so bass note is playing the fifth string, down, up, strum. Second finger moves over to the second fret on the fifth string. Note that now that the fourth string, where the second finger was, is now muted. So we play that note, down, up, little finger, again, and fourth string still muted. Then we're just playing the open fourth string, and then second finger goes back down where it was. Okay, so the count is 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, F. That's all the same. Down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. The second time on the A minor, you want to stay on it. There's no climb. Down, 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 up. The G is changed, it's pushed, it comes on the and after 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so the next strum after the bar line will either be on the and after 1 or beat 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. So I'm doing up, down, on the G. 1, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let me take you through that whole intro sequence nice and slow now. Remember, if there's any bits that you're struggling with, like you're struggling with the climb on the A minor, you should go back and just work on that one little bit and then practice through that whole section and find the bit that you're struggling with the most, extract it, practice just that one bit, and then go back to practicing the whole thing. Often people will practice like the whole thing over and over again and still having the same stumbling block each time they go through it. That's not going to be a very efficient way of practicing. You always want to go through and find out the bit that you're struggling with the most. Yes, Ziggy, what's wrong with you? You know, come on, you didn't get enough camera time today. Or what? Oh, say hello to the people. Up, come on, up. You can do it. There we go. Hello, this is Ziggy. Ziggy likes R.E.M, don't you, Ziggs? Hey? She's desperate to go for a walk, I think. Well, it's not that early yet. Hey? Breathing funny too. What's up with you? She's a real cuddle tart, this thing. Anyway, I'm in the middle of doing a lesson, Ziggy. Do you mind if I get back to it, please? Can you go back to bed? Go on. Back to bed. Go on. Bed. Go on. Bed. Bed. Off you go. Go on. So let me take you nice and slowly through that whole intro section. Make sure you can see how all of the bits fit together. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. One more time, a little faster. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, A minor, it's bigger. D minor, and you are A minor. The lengths that I would E minor, the distance in your A minor. E minor, oh no, I've said to D minor. I said it G. So basically here in the verses we have 2 bars of A minor, 2 bars of E minor. That sequence is repeated 3 times. Then we've got 2 bars of D minor and 2 bars of G. I think there's a slight variation in the strumming pattern between the D minor and the G. The strumming pattern that I suggest you start off with is 2 bars long, but it's just a guide, a starting point. For sure there are variations. It's also difficult to stick to an exact strumming pattern like this while you sing it as well. So if you're going to sing and play it at the same time, be kind to yourself. Don't get too strict. The important things are keeping the hand moving consistently so you stay in time and making it feel good. Those 2 things are much more important than keeping a strumming pattern exact all of the way through, particularly if you're playing on your own. I notice that I've already adapted the strumming pattern a little bit when I'm playing it and not thinking about the strumming pattern, but this is definitely the one that I'm hearing most commonly on the record, and therefore it would be a good starting point. So that pattern would be this: down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 noticing that the arm moves continuously. It's not doing anything different at any point. It's just doing the same thing. So if you accidentally put in an extra strum, it really doesn't matter. I can't talk and do that strumming pattern at the same time. That's too sticky. Yeah, but the key thing here is that if you keep your arm moving all the time, if you do put in an extra strum or you miss one out that's not the set pattern, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So while it's a good idea to practice a set strumming pattern and have a guide one, particularly a song like this, the rhythm pattern does kind of play into the whole song, like it's part of the character of the tune. So worth learning. But don't get too hung up on it. Okay, let's go back and play it together a few times. You grab your guitar up if you haven't already. So it's down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 the points that I'm noticing already that I'm kind of changing it, which is my interpretation, I'm going to call it, but it's just the way that it seems to feel natural for me, is instead of waiting for beat 2 in the second bar with that down stroke, sometimes I'm using an upstroke there, and I'm also adding one in on beat 4. So I'm commonly playing 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and, which, you know, listening to the track again, it's like, no, that isn't the exact pattern, but it still works, and it works in the song. And you know, when you're learning a tune like this, I would encourage you to think about doing your own interpretation and not trying to make it exactly like the record. There's benefit to doing that because you learn new things, increase your repertoire, increase your understanding of the tune, learn to play the song properly. All of those things are good, but you should definitely explore doing your own version. Maybe you try a fingerstyle version, maybe you completely change up the strumming pattern, change the speed of it, make it a lot slower, whatever, you know, try things and see how you get on. I do notice that at the end of the verses, where it goes to the D minor and G, the strumming pattern again, very similar, but you have this 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up. So that was one of the things when I'm playing this, when it got to that point in the song, I'm switching my attention a little bit from the singing to check on that strumming pattern, because it does feel like, again, it's part of the character of the song. Let me just play through that verse without any singing, just so you can hear those strumming patterns in action. 3, 4. After that intro chord progression, the verse is played 2 times, and then we're back into the chorus. The chorus is using the same chords that we already learnt for the intro. So you want to be aware of that and notice if there's any simplifications you need to make, particularly if you're going to sing. Because singing the chorus, I thought that I heard you laughing bit over the strumming pattern with all of the changes to the D minor and the G, it's syncopated. The phrasing, the feeling of the strumming and the singing is a little different. So it took me quite a few goes to be able to automate the strumming enough to be able to even have a go at singing over it. It was very, very lumpy for a while. I don't think I've really nailed it yet, but it was getting there. So just be aware of that if you're going to sing it, you might want to simplify and practice the simplified version that you're going to use at that point. That last G, so where I thought that I heard you laughing, is going to start. So the D minor, I thought that I heard you laughing. Nearly always when I come into that section, I'm not sticking to the strumming pattern as strictly, because I'm going back into thinking about the lyric line there and making sure it's in tune and that the phrasing's okay. So the strumming patterns are always going to change a little bit. If you think about drummers, the way they play, it's generally the same for like 4, 8, 12 or 16 bars, and there's a little variation at the end. Definitely going into a chorus, you would expect the drums to do something a little different to kind of telegraph, to notify the rest of the band, hey, it's the chorus now, don't forget. Not just the band, but the listener as well. So don't be afraid of changing up the strumming a little bit before you go into that chorus. After that chorus, we got another verse and another chorus again. Remember, if you're thinking about song dynamics, that next verse, the verse after the first chorus, you would normally try and drop the dynamic down a bit. So you've gone from like the verse 1, verse 2 is a little louder, then you get the chorus, which is the highlight. You want to drop the dynamic, play a little softer, make it a little bit more intimate, just to give the overall context of the song a little bit of body, keeps the listener interested again. Then we got the chorus. And then we go into the bridge. Now, bridge is slightly different chords. This is the kind of like the mandolin solo part. So the bridge is starting off with an A minor, so la da 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 to a G da da da, F da da to a G da da da. Then C was just a D minor. C was just a D minor. That's me in the corner. Okay, so A minor for 1 bar, G for 1 bar, F to G, then C to D minor, C to D minor. When it comes to the strumming there, it can be quite nice to just really break it down and do 1 strum on each bar. So A minor to the G, F to G, that was just a dream. Maybe build it up a bit. That's me in the corner. So you can really use that bridge to break it right down and then gradually build it back up. It goes into another verse, but it is the kind of the bit, that's me in the corner. It kind of functions a little bit as a chorus. It's definitely one of the main hooks of the song, is that little section. If you want to do an emulation of the mandolin part on guitar, that can be quite fun as well. Start with your 3rd finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string and the open thinner string. Then we're going down to the 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, still playing the thinner string open. Then move it down 2 frets, so 1st finger is in the 1st fret. And then we want the 2nd finger going down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, but you also want that finger to mute the 2nd string, so you just hear the 3rd string and that open string. The open string is called a drone. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That little mandolin overdub is the kind of thing where you could just leave off the chords for that 4 bars. If you're playing it on your own, everyone will recognize that part probably, and then you just join back in for the C chord to the D minor where the vocal would start again. If there's 2 guitars, one person would play the chords, the other one could play the mandolin part. Well, I think that's plenty of detail on this song for you to be able to record a pretty awesome cover version, of which I'd love to see. We over in the Justin Guitar community, which is kind of like a forum board, we have a place specifically called Audio and Video of You Playing, where I encourage students to submit videos of themselves playing. You get loads of encouragement from the rest of the community, maybe some constructive criticism if you ask for it. I try and check out loads of those videos as well and give my own feedback. Really supportive community, so do go and check it out if you haven't already. Plenty more R.E.M. songs over there as well. If you want to submit more R.E.M. songs, if you've got a song request, do let me know at justinguitar.com/songs, where there's a request board. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You'll take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.